And we're live.
All right. Excuse me while I finish this turn in Rainbow Moon.
Is that what the kids are calling it?
Yep.
Let me get chat here in the live stream. It's going to take me a minute here. I can actually close the rest of this stuff because I just need my top 10. We don't need nothing else.
Indeed.
Excuse me. Whoop, nope. Do not click on audition. That will lead to disaster.
Let me load up all of this stuff.
Yeah, let me load up me accidentally canceling recording of this show.
Yeah.
That would turn out really great.
It would.
Okay, so top 10. We don't need to do titles. Oh, time.
Oh, cool. I can put my clipboard away.
Yep.
Sweet.
Boston.
Yes.
That beard is starting to look thick.
Yes. Ladies love it. I am rather unkempt at the moment, but
Yeah, it's been a while since I've trimmed it up for me.
that was gonna be me later today.
Like it's just needs to trim this, trim this, and
Yeah,
now
I
I'm
gotta
done.
do the neck parts.
The neck's the worst. I hate it.
Yeah.
That and I hate the little like when this stuff starts curling in.
Oh yeah, I've got that going all up in my mouth all day today. It's driving me nuts.
I just remembered this scene from the net. I'm linking in Skype chat. We've come a long way on ordering pizza online, gentlemen.
What happened?
Just check Skype chat.
Hold on, I'm gonna live stream it here. Fuck the police.
Fuck the police.
I don't see it.
In Skype chat.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in Skype chat. I don't see it. Oh, I just had to scroll down. Oops.
Yep. Pizza.net.
Hannah, can you
Because
go see if
that's the thing.
pizza.net is still a site?
I bet it is. I bet it looks exactly like that, too.
Is this from Hacker?
No, it's from the net.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Is
What's with
pizza.net
the
doesn't resolve to
music?
anything. What? Why? Oh no! Tell me it's registered.
Oh, this music is fantastic.
Pretty great.
This is the opening credit scene?
It must be. Directed by Irwin Winkler. I'm really glad that we're live streaming this.
Yes.
Oh shit, it's the virtual. Oh,
Yeah.
crackle, crackle.
Oh, it's rhythm and blues.
No one leaves the house anymore. No one has sex.
Oh,
Why have I never
the
seen
sea-
the net?
the CRT fireplace. I love it.
Cyber chat. All right.
Cyber everything.
No more YouTube.
Oh, cheese and anchovies. Sandra Bullock's gross.
All right, let's get rid of that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Anything we need
Hey.
to cover before we start? Excuse me.
Are we doing a game of the year as an overall or?
Nah, I
Nah.
don't really care.
Cool.
Either it's going to be a given because it's like one of the top two for each one of us, or it's going to be this contentious disaster.
Yeah.
It never.
Fair enough.
There's only one way only one of two ways that can go.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we've been able to keep this so civil.
Well, you know, I think we respect each other's top tens.
I'm not a competitive person. I'm gonna let you like whatever you like.
Yeah,
so.
I don't really care. It's your top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's better. I know it.
I actually wrote on the description for one of my games, Turbo Dumb.
Turbo dumb.
I feel like I know what that one
Yeah,
is.
you already do. All right, before we continue to give more hints for our top 10, you gents ready?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go in normal order. And from our normal stuff, don't forget your top 10 is 10 to 1. Knobs.
Yes. What? Oh, did I do that wrong last year?
Yeah, last year you were like, all right, my number one. It's no.
That's not how top tens work.
Oh, God. Why?
No, like I can't. If I screw that up, I'm starting at either number 4 or number 7.
I don't even know. Can you hold your list up to the camera again so we can live stream this thing? What happened here?
Spoilers!
I can't even read it, but I just wanted to show everyone whatever
What?
happened.
Why I'm loony?
Yeah. All right. Ready?
Should see my notes for work.
No thank
They're
you.
like on several different pages,
Ugh.
written on the back of receipts. Like,
All right, let's get started. Since it's 4 o'clock here, 7 o'clock.
I never get sued.
All right,
prove
starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Over there's Knobs.
Sup?
Over there's a Hannah.
Hey.
And we are doing one of my 2 favorite shows every year, our top 10 list. So if this is the first top 10 you've listened to, first off, you're in for a treat. Let me just tell you that.
It's a good year.
Second off, here's the format. First off, we start off with everybody's individual top 10s, 10 to 1.
Okay. I'm gonna write first next to my group.
Okay. Then we go to honorable mentions. So
Second.
it's basically games that either just missed our top 10 or maybe they can't be in the top 10 for some other reason, but we wanted to kind of call them out for being pretty great.
Yeah.
Then we cover our best game of last year this year. Basically, we didn't get to it in 2012, but we did in 2013, and it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end are games we missed. So each one of us can't play every game that comes out every year. I don't have that kind of time.
Who knows? We try.
We
Oh,
do
yeah.
try. And either we didn't finish them, or we just never got to them, but we wanted to. So we'll talk about them there. So, no questions from the class. Let's move on to Knobs. What is your top 10 of 2013?
Alrighty, starting off with, I think, kind of a questionable for a top 10, but I really enjoyed it. I'm going to say Borderlands 2 DLC, Tiny Tina.
Nice.
Okay.
Might be the best DLC I've ever played. In and of itself, as a little episode in the Borderlands saga, I thought was fantastic. They got you a lot of closure on the events of Borderlands 2, and man, did they really make that fun. So that's why it's got to be my number 10. That's why I think it needs to be on my top 10 list. Now I got to find number 9. Number 9, Ultimate DOA 5, just because it is still a fantastic game. It's almost a masterworks of what DOA is. The balancing they did, I think, elevated that game even more with even better fighting game, and everything's so balanced. Still probably my favorite fighting series of all time. It's just you're always on the offensive, and there's even on defense you still have the advantage to attack, and the balances they made and all the characters and all the costumes are just it's just fantastic. So that's my number 9. Number 8 for me is Batman Arkham Origins.
Ooh.
Besides the crashing issues I have with this game, it still produced a fantastic Batman storyline. Probably enjoyed it as much as I did Arkham Asylum.
Nice.
I really did enjoy that whole storyline. It was very concise. There was a couple continuity breakdowns between what was in the past between this game. Well, this game is in the further past, but it is what it is. Still a very, very solid entry into the Arkham universe.
Just added a game to my games I missed list.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's going to be happening a lot here. Number 7, StarCraft: Heart of the Swarm.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that came out this year.
Blizzard always manages to get it right. I just spent I think it was a couple nights ago where I actually sat down and pulled the DVDs out of the collector's editions up on top of my shelf and rewatched all the cinematics again.
Nice.
And they do such a great job in narrating what happens in between that, and they even give you the two choice differences in a lot of the different areas in the cinematics. They have their own things.
Nice.
But I keep forgetting that they had a big retrospective and how bad StarCraft originally looked.
Yeah.
Even with when they shook down the old one where they called it Warcraft Purple, when they redid the whole engine, and it played a lot better. But playing this version of StarCraft, this is how you remember it looking. I don't know how they captured it, but it just, the rose-colored glasses come over, and that's what StarCraft always looked like.
Yeah.
And it's just more in the same, and the storyline is just fantastic. It's one of those things that always keeps me back, and I'm frothing at the mouth to play the third chapter in this series.
Yeah.
That is my number 7. Number 6, BioShock Infinite.
Oh,
Nice.
It's a fantastic game, minus the shooting. Minus the gameplay.
Yeah.
I would love just to be in that world and have those interactions and just explore and find stuff and hack stuff and just do stuff on Columbia, because it's such a rich world that I felt like the gameplay took away from the exploration, which is why it's kind of in the middle of the pack, because it is amazing and a great twist at the end of that game. I really did enjoy it, and I think that's why it's so high on my list, or in the middle of the list. Number 5, Guacamelee.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I didn't expect to really fall in love with this game as hard as I did, but that game has so much charm. From the art style to the gameplay to the exploration, and just 100%ing that game was just, it was a joy to sit and hop around in that pseudo luchador world. Like, I had so much fun with it.
Yeah.
That is that's one of my favorite games I've played this year. Number 4, Dead Space 3.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Another one on my list.
It didn't really end the way I hoped it would be, or it would be probably in my top 2. It was a fantastic game, start to finish. It played like Dead Space. It was a great another chapter in Dead Space. The co-op, whether it didn't need to be there, but it was executed so well, and it added so much more depth to the person you were playing with. And that just the drastic difference it makes when you have someone with you. That it was equally terrifying for both parties, whereas usually when you're playing co-op, it usually takes the edge off a little bit because you have that experience. But when you're playing as the opposite character, I wish I could remember Isaac's other guy that was with him, but having him freak out in a totally different way that you playing as Isaac couldn't see and couldn't understand why this guy was having a mental breakdown next to you was just amazing. The toy soldier stuff was just super creepy and just fit so well into this game. It's still fantastic, and I still think it's a great entry into one of the best, I think, underrated series, in gaming right now. So third,
Top 3.
Saints Row 4.
What?
Yeah. Knew that had to be in there for you.
Oh, you know what? If a couple of other things, one of my top 2 is questionable whether it was this year or last year, but I did play it this year, so it counts. But Saints Row 4 took the game in a way I really thought it was going to go. It just went totally over the edge, like way more crazier than I ever thought it could possibly be. It had stuff in that game that I didn't even think was possible in that engine, or even really to have that type of continuity in between character interactions, and then just being fully well aware of how messed up everything is right now.
Yeah.
Like, just the straight references that are all in my wheelhouse, and I love every one of them. But the thing that really made this game more than anything else was the text adventure was outstanding. And even how it played from the first game, where you kind of do a text adventure light, to a full-on holy text adventure, to that weird Metroid techno song playing in the background the whole time, was just awesome.
Nice.
But the throwback to a 2D brawler might have been the best thing I've ever played ever.
I forgot about that.
And how they rendered your custom character into that 2D world blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a giant purple dude with a big mohawk and a bomber's coat. How they managed to make my character look like he belonged in that universe was just amazing. With the crappy 16-bit voice voice aperture thing going on was just amazing to me. Even though it's such a small part of it, but jumping between the real world and the gravity of what just happened, with them destroying the Earth and being in this Matrix style super-powered craziness was just it's out of this world. It's one of my favorite things, and to have the credits and then messing around with the timeline, even better.
Yep.
Yeah.
The game did not miss a beat for me at all. That is my number 3. Number 2, The Walking Dead Season 1.
Ooh.
It's just all around amazing. It very rarely do you have a game that you just connect on such an emotional level and just really show how important stories and character interaction and choice is to gaming. It is a fully interactive medium. The fact that it made me hate myself for a lot of the decisions that I made, or question myself how I wanted to do this, or not do anything and have something terrible happen, just blew me away. I just probably top 5 best games of the generation by far. Yeah. And my coup de grace, my number 1 is GTA 5.
Nice.
Okay.
Not just because it's a fantastic game and all around, everything they executed perfectly well was. I did not expect to like this game in the least, let alone absolutely love this game. The 3 characters I thought were going to be confusing and mishmash, and how would these 3 people meet, knowing what their backgrounds and what they were to each other, and have them come together as a team in this game. Just I don't know, masterful writing is the only way, and scripting on the events, and just the crazy situations you got into. The side missions were all really fun. It just wasn't collecting cars, running around chasing people with paparazzi. It was all really fun, but what shined in this game more than anything was the heist. It felt like a giant heist caper movie that I was a part of. I wish I'd have played more of the actual not co-op, but the multiplayer aspect. I had fun tooling around with it, but it was a lot like my experience with GTA 4, GTA 4. No, yeah, 4. Whatever. Yeah. Where we played around, we did some mayhem, and I was done.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the same way with this. We had some fun. We did some races, did some crazy shenanigans stuff, and I was just kind of done with it. But playing those 3 characters and finding myself liking the black protagonist blew me away. That they made his situation so believable and attractive that you really felt for. Even though he's guy's doing bad things, he's portrayed as the gangbanger, but he just made. It had such a humanistic take to what that character was, and made you love. You wanted to see him succeed in whatever he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I knew I was gonna like Trevor just because he's crazy. And they did crazy in the best way possible.
Nice.
That calm, ridiculous rage to over the top madness. It was just. I give that voice actor and the animators doing such a great job of getting that crazy mannerisms.
Yeah.
Just perfect. And Michael was just an unbelievably solid character. Like, to not just to pull one of them off well, but to do all 3 and make all the other supplemental characters very interesting and intriguing on their own. I didn't think Rockstar had that level in them. even after playing a little bit of Red Dead and playing a lot of LA Noire, to have that work out the way it did, just that's a feat in gaming.
Mhm.
That was just, it just wasn't about jacking cars and blowing stuff up. That it had a purpose and a track you had to follow to get through it. And just was not expecting to be that engrossed in that game. So that's my top 10.
Oh man, so I feel like all three of us are gonna have really different lists this year. So Hannah,
Yeah.
what do you have for your top 10?
I have a super different list.
All right.
So this was an interesting year for me. A lot of I wouldn't say a lot fewer AAA games than you'd expect. So I'm going to start with number 10 here, and that is Super Hexagon.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So this came out, I think it technically came out really late last year, but it hit iOS and Android this year, so I'm counting it.
I'll allow it.
To take such a simple concept and such a very, I mean, literally, it's a hexagon and you're a little triangle and you have to just avoid hitting stuff. It's just this very basic, very simple arcade style game that I have played countless hours of because it is beyond addictive. There's challenge in that. You have to move around these walls and you have to avoid, dying, and it really feeds into that visceral, this is what, on the basis level, this is what games are. And this is a true, this harkens back to the oldest of video games, and it really feels but it feels modern still, and it still feels like it seems to cross this weird bridge of this is definitely what video games were originally thought of as when they first started coming out. Pong, it's literally just two, a total of 3 lines and a dot.
Mm-hmm.
This is sort of in my mind, this is sort of a similar concept. It's so simple, but it's still it looks so good, and the music is fantastic. It's just so well presented. And I couldn't exclude it from my top 10 list just for being, it's just a little phone game that I play every once in a while. It's no, this is a little phone game that I played way too much. I got way too into for a little while. I still got to get past the second difficulty level. My number 9 game is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I sort of look at this game as a Metal Gear What If, as the keyboards start clacking.
That's not a game I missed.
Yeah. Uwatu's in it.
I mean, this is it's a platinum game. Is pretty much what it is. They just took Metal Gear characters. The sword play was a ton of fun, and being able to manipulate Raiden's blade in the ways that you could, where you could chop an enemy up into 1,000 pieces, literally 1,000 pieces.
There's a counter on screen. It's
Yeah.
happy about telling you.
It loves telling you, and it seems to exponentially increase the amount of blood that explodes after you finish chopping based on how many pieces you chopped up. I didn't actually get a chance to finish this game, but I played it up to probably about the 2/3 point, and I got through quite a few boss battles, so I'm satisfied in saying that I played enough of this game to say that I greatly enjoyed it. It got kind of difficult at times, but I'm not, I don't play games for difficulty, and I'm not sitting here trying to hone my dexterity or whatever. I just want to play games and have fun, and despite it being somewhat challenging, it's still a very fun game. And I love that they admit that it's not canon at all in the Metal Gear universe. So yeah, just ignore this game, just have fun with it. And it allowed them to do crazy things like here's Raiden as a giant cyborg wearing a poncho and a sombrero. And you can wear that all game if you want to. Have fun. But it's just it's interesting to see Metal Gear through a different lens instead of the super serious, super involved lens that you always get it through.
Mm-hmm.
My number 8 is Stealth Inc., which is actually also called Stealth Bastard on Steam. I played it on the Vita, and this is one of those games that really proves what the Vita's good at. It's good at puzzling platformers that just absolutely hate you. And that is this game to a T. This game hates you. You're just a little clone dude. You're not a person. It's just going to kill you without regard for, hey, yeah, you screwed up. You die now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, N plus.
Yeah, it's got that same feel to it. You have to solve all these puzzles, and you can solve as much as you want. It's still going to kill you every chance it gets. And you could be doing great, and then suddenly you're gone. Luckily, it has a nice little checkpointing system, so once you've done certain actions, it will just bounce you back to that last point. But that almost sort of feels like cheating, so I would often just restart the level. And that is the other thing that made this game great for me, was the fact that it had a dedicated button to restart the level. Any game of this type should totally have that, because it fits perfectly. Mm-hmm. It's one of those games where you want to be better at it, and you have to be better at it, because the game deserves better. It deserves better out of you. And I had just an absolute blast with this game all year. I still play it on and off here, and I haven't played it in a couple months, but I'm definitely still working towards finishing it. But I've gotten most of the way through that game, and I'm really I'm glad they found an audience for it, because I remember when it came out really technically about a year or two ago as a free release on PC, but it was a very limited amount of levels, and it wasn't the same game. It was sort of like another game I actually have on my list later. So, but my number 7 game is The Cave from Double Fine.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
which this is an adventure game that sort of breaks. It's sort of moved into the modern world. It's not quite on the level of like what Telltale's doing right now, but this is seeing someone like Ron Gilbert still doing what he does best, and doing it successfully, and doing it with a sense of humor, and not like your generic basic, like, that was, something funny in a game. Oh, how novel. This game is just funny, and it's darkly funny in a lot of spots, which is right up my wheelhouse. Like, I'm a big fan of just, gallows humor, I guess you could call it. Just this really kind of dark, like, you really shouldn't be laughing at that, but that's really funny. And this kind of has that in spades. And really the thing that sets this game off is the narrator, who sort of narrates your actions and sort of even kind of makes fun of you as you're playing the game. And my favorite thing is the fact that you have all these different characters that you can choose from. So I played the game once with 3 different characters. Someone who played them with 3 different characters could have had an entirely different experience, despite it being the same puzzles. Or at least similar puzzles for like the beginning section. But I was really, really impressed with how well written and how entertaining this game was. It didn't necessarily have the best gameplay. It was a little clunky in spots. It still sort of had that mystery meat puzzle thing going for it, where it's like, here, take this object and figure out what it does with the other object in the environment. But I felt like the environments and the humor all kind of made up for all that. And number 6 on my list is a game I have been playing almost nonstop since it came out on the Vita, Splunky.
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah. I cannot get enough of this game. I play it when I wake up. I play it when I'm going to work. I play it before I go to bed. I play it when I wake up in the middle of the night. It's awesome. The fact that they've been able to take this from just like a basic browser game and just build upon it and get this, they had the PC release, and then they had the console release, and then it comes out on the Vita, and you're starting, I think it really broke out on the Vita. I think that's the place to play it. It fits so well with that system, and it works on such a great level. You feel like you should be playing that game, A, on a controller, and B, on a portable. Like, you should always have that game with you, because you're like, I bet I could do that this time. It was another one of those games where I felt like I was disrespecting the game if I didn't play it well enough. Kind of like Stealth Inc. Like, I have to get better at this game, or I just can't play it anymore. but I also can't stop playing it, so I'm just going to get better at it anyway. I'm still terrible at it, mind you, but it's like sort of become almost a habit in my daily routine. It's just like, oh, I'm going to play a little Splunky. Oh, I'm going to play a little more. Is it? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll go to bed then.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Guacamelee.
Yeah.
For many of the same reasons Knobs pointed it out. It's very charming. The setting is really unique, and I really liked that. They didn't just go, you're in a castle and you find some stuff. They put you literally in just like a Mexican village, and you're a luchador, because why not?
Yep.
Because we haven't done that in video games yet, or at least not as much as we should. Because it's just a great aesthetic. It was an amazing Metroidvania game. It had all the hallmarks of that. Everything. It was well paced. You had some really interesting powers, and I really loved the way they combined the navigating the world and the combat. So like every time you got a new power, it wasn't just, oh well, you can now jump higher. It was like, no, your jump higher button is an uppercut.
Yep.
Like you're going to be able to use this in combat. This doesn't have. It's not just a one-trick pony move.
Well, even that, like comboing your way up, it actually helped you traverse the world earlier than you could.
Yes,
That was the uppercut and the side dash punch to get you up on the platforms. It was an unbelievable tool.
Yeah, it really was, and it didn't make assumptions. It didn't like handhold you. It was like, hey, if you figure it out, you figure it out. You know, you're going to be able to get where you need to get. But if you want to get to that special area a little early, we're gonna give you the ability to, but you have to put the pieces together yourself.
Yeah.
And it just, man, that was if there's a dark horse candidate for like great games this year, like that was one of them. Like I don't think anyone saw that game coming.
No.
At all.
Oh, the combo training and those little dojo things were amazing.
Yeah. That chicken is brutal.
Yeah.
He is not. He's not messing around. My number 4 game, which I guess I'm gonna count it because it came out on consoles this year, is Diablo 3. Yeah, because it's Diablo, and it's on console, and it's fantastic. My biggest gripe with the Diablo games forever has always been the click to move mechanic. I don't like clicking to move in an action game. Because the way you have to utilize the mouse in that game, it doesn't suit. I don't think it suits the genre. I don't think there's a better way to do it, but I feel that on the 360 version, being able to directly control your character rather than just deciding where he's going to end up was it was the difference that made me really enjoy a Diablo game for the first time. Because I've played 2 and I liked it, but it was always that kind of like, oh no, I didn't want to move, I wanted to kill that guy. Why did that happen? Okay, whatever, I guess I'll keep playing. Whereas with this, it was like, okay, I'm gonna move my character and I'm gonna go beat the crap out of that giant herd of enemies, and I'm gonna get me some loot. And wait, what time is it? Is it 4 a.m.? Oh no, it's 5 a.m. I have work in 2 hours, which happened more than once. That Diablo 3 is a fantastic game, especially minus the auction house shenanigans. And I'm really excited that it's going to have that stuff kind of pulled out of it, because I feel like having the auction house there doesn't allow people to like rise up to the challenge of the game, which is go get more loot, be better, go get more loot, and get the best loot you possibly can, because you need to beat Diablo on every possible difficulty level with every possible character, because it's the only way to truly eliminate him.
Yeah.
But Diablo 3 was just, if you haven't played it, like, and if you've got a PS4, feel free to wait. You know, go get the expansion version. But if you're sticking with 360 or PS3 for a while, just go get it. It's a ton of fun. Like, you can just turn your brain off and play that game forever. Like, I was playing Diablo 3 the other day, and I was actually listening to, I forget which book it was, but one of the Harry Potter books being narrated by Stephen Fry, and it was the very weird sort of cognitive dissonance with that. My number 3 game for the year is
Top 3.
XCOM Enemy Within.
Ooh.
What? I'd have thought that would be number 1 for you.
You'd be surprised. It's really good. The only reason I can't really justify giving it number 1 spot this year is because I don't want to say it's just an expansion, but it adds to an already great game. By itself, I don't know. Like you couldn't even have this game by itself. So like as an expansion, I feel like it's kind of it's a phenomenal expansion. It adds a ton of depth and it adds a ton of new elements to this game that have completely thrown me off my game and made me rage quit, which hasn't happened in forever. So that game just by itself, XCOM would, if had I been on the show, would have been my game of the year last year. This just like improves on an already amazing gaming experience, and it's really sort of turned me on to more strategy games and strategy RPGs, which is a genre I never thought I'd really like outside of a select few games. So this was like sort of just a turning point in general in gaming for me, and Enemy Within just improves upon it. So I can't say much more than that. My number 2 game is The Wolf Among Us Episode 1.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Telltale knocked it out of the park. I had not a whole lot of interest in the Fables series before hearing about this, and now that I've played it, I want to go read all of it. I want to go read all of Fables, and I cannot wait for the next episode of this game. The amount of tension that they managed to build up in almost every scene. Every scene is like gut-wrenchingly tense, except for I think maybe the opening scene's a little tense because you're not exactly sure what you're going into. And by the time you get there, it's really sort of the tension's over and things have spilled out of control. But the following few things that you have to do are just very intense. When you come back to the same building, and there's you have to go into a different room of that building with another character, and something has happened, but they're sort of being quiet about it. And they won't tell. You have to sort of put the pieces together and be like, okay, I know what happened, and you have to create this confrontation. And it can go wrong. It could have very easily gone wrong had I not clicked around enough. I almost missed one of the biggest clues that would have sent the whole thing kind of off the rails. I'm kind of interested what would have happened had I not decided to double back through the whole area. And then I think we've talked about the last scene before and how everything just like you've been building up this tension this whole, maybe 2-3 hours that you're playing this, and it just all erupts at the end. Mm-hmm. And then the cliffhanger they leave you on is the meanest thing I've seen in a video game all year.
It's pretty cruel.
It's extraordinarily cruel, and Telltale. I can't wait to see what they do with all the stuff they've announced recently, because they knocked this one out of the park, and they knocked Walking Dead out of the park last year. So this is Wolf Among Us is fantastic. I cannot wait for the second episode. I really wish they would announce it. And that brings me to my number 1 game of the year, which is Shadowrun Returns.
Oh,
wow.
Nice. I forgot that came out.
Yes. This is another game. It's another strategy game, sort of. It's a Western-style strategy RPG in the vein of, I think I mentioned it before, the Fallout games. It relies on action points rather than specific turn phases. So you can do whatever you want in a turn, but you're not tied down to this structure of move, attack, defend, etc. It's just, okay, I need to move. I need to book it out of here. I need to go, or I need everyone attacking this guy all at once. It really, what turned me on to this was the fact that someone mentioned it was similar to XCOM, and it immediately got my attention, as it will forever and always. So I started looking at it and I went, this is like a perfect storm. Like this is everything about this game is in my wheelhouse. I get to build out a character, awesome. I get to choose how he levels up, great. I get to hack things, awesome. I get to walk around in the digital world, great. Um, and just the cast of characters in this game is fantastic. And for a game with no voice acting whatsoever, they have a lot of depth. And I really like the fact that they went with no voice acting in this game because it makes things like mods more believable. You can put in mods with like new dialogue and new characters and things like that, and it's not ruined because you're suddenly lacking voice acting, or you have like someone who tried to do voice acting on their own and record it on like their home computer, and it doesn't sound like the rest of the voice actors or something. I think a lot of the choices they made with this game were really, considering the restraints they were under using the Unity engine and the time crunch because they wanted to get it out on time. This is like, to me, this is a really good example of a Kickstarter success. And like, I mean, things went wrong when this was developed, and they're already starting to patch them in the new DLC. For example, the new DLC is going to have the ability to save anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't even detriment the game, and I was honestly worried about that when it first came out. There was a big report, well, they're using the Unity engine, and the way the Unity engine works, saving anywhere is a bit of a challenge. They operate in these things called scenes, and you can save a scene as you transition, but there's not a whole lot of transitions throughout the whole game. So you just have to hope that everything's saved in the right spot. And it all seemed to do so. And the good thing about the way they used the save system was the ability to sort of rewind and roll back to certain saves was really interesting, because I got into a couple of jams a couple times where I was like, I'm not going to be able to finish this. I'm going to have to go back and level up, or choose a different party almost to get through whatever mission I'm on. And I was able to do that, and it was really... I played this game straight through in like a week, and I don't think I've ever had as much fun with a game like this as I ever had with, Shadowrun.
Alrighty, well, let's move on to my incredibly different top 10 list here. I went with my gut this year. Just threw it all together and just kind of let it land where it stuck. So, number 10, Spelunky. For pretty much the same reasons that Hannah was just talking about. I played a lot of the different versions of Spelunky. I played the original browser version, the original PC one, I played the XBLA one, and they never really clicked for me until I got it on the Vita. And something about playing this game on that handheld with that screen and with the controls and everything, it finally clicked for me, and I finally really understood what this game is.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a cheat because this game has been around since, 1993. I don't know. But this year is when it came out on the Vita, and it finally clicked with me, and I really, really love it. I would really like to play more of it, but you can only play so much Spelunky before you sort of want to hurt yourself in very real ways.
Yeah.
Number 9, The Wolf Among Us Episode 1.
Nice.
If The Wolf Among Us was finished, it would probably be a lot higher on my list, like it was on the Hannah's. But for me, I wanted to make sure I recognized The Wolf Among Us for being a really great start to a really promising looking series. And I really liked... We don't get enough games that are painted in sort of a noir stroke. We never really see games where... I love that The Wolf Among Us really sort of simmered in its own story and in its own environments. My favorite scene in the first one is near the end, the bar scene that just... It's so uncomfortable, and it's so tense, and it's so just... Yeah. It feels like you're watching a movie, and then you're just waiting for all of this to build, and it's going to go somewhere, and it won't get there, and it's just unbearable how much tension there is. You can cut it with a knife at this point, and I have to really respect Telltale for spending the time within their own game instead of just kind of sprinting their way through it. And I think at the end of the day, as long as the rest of the episodes have that same sense of them, that I think even if the story doesn't necessarily go the way that people want, or something falls apart with it, I think at least we'll have this game where you have a real palpable sense of tension there, and I think that everything I think is really important for that game.
Yeah.
Number 8, not my number 5, Guacamelee. Didn't join the number 5 club. Not a lot to add from what my compatriots already said, but we don't get a lot of really tight, perfect lengthed Metroidvania games. Guacamelee never outstayed its welcome. It never got boring. You never felt like you were continually traversing the same environments over and over and over again. It had a lot of really good systems in it. The one that you guys forgot to mention is sort of that Land of the Dead system as well, where you flip over to the other sort of the dead world, and you're flipping between, and just a really incredibly intelligently designed Metroidvania. And man, if you have a Vita, play it on there. It shines on that handheld, not only for length, but also for, as I will continue to say, this Vita screen is absolutely beautiful, and a bright, vibrant game like this is really where that screen and that platform shines. So I cannot recommend that, as it needs to be part of your Vita library. Number 7, Ni no Kuni: The Wrath of the White Witch. Feel like I'm one of 5 people who played this game this year. But really, the combination of Studio Ghibli and Level 5, 2 of my favorite studios, one for movies, one for games, they of course managed to come together and make probably the most charming JRPG that has ever been developed, and then to make one that manages to really combine the best of what Level 5's previous games like Dark Cloud and some more action RPG titles like the Tale series, and combining that with a Pokemon style collecting and raising game, and then on top of that just making it beautiful and making it, and really managing to capture that kind of childlike innocence, and that somehow in the way that seemingly only Studio Ghibli can, to imbue that sort of childlike wonder where everywhere you go is this spectacle that you can't but help marveling at. And this game is, while it's not entirely long for JRPG standards, everything in it is really carefully crafted, and it's really smart, and tells what eventually wraps up to being a really interesting and touching story about what it means to heal from loss, and tells a more mature story than I think most people really gave it credit for. And I think far too many people missed out on this game, and I know a lot of people played it and kind of bowed out at probably about the 10-hour area, because it sort of started getting really difficult. But just really a gem in the PS3's library, and really just an outstanding JRPG overall. On pretty much the other end of the spectrum, my number 6 is Dragon's Dogma: Dark Arisen.
Yes.
This was easily my most surprising game this year. I bought it because nobody would just shut up about this game. It was everybody, oh man, you gotta try Dragon's Dogma, it's super cheap, and get it. And just the torrent of surprising praise for this game, similar to Deadly Premonition, where a seemingly terrible game is just getting nothing but surprising praise. Picked it up, popped it in, and I think from a couple of hours in, it really clicked with me, and really it's kind of not a great game, but man, is it one of the best games this year. It's just there's something about this game and bringing your friends pawns and doing all these side quests and living in this world. And I've continually said that it's the antithesis to Skyrim, where Skyrim focuses more on story and less on gameplay. This is the opposite. It's really going to focus on the combat engine, really going to focus on the fighting, and the story, while fine and insane in a way that I couldn't even begin to spoil, but everyone needs to experience. There's something about the game where I will never forget fighting my first griffin, and while I'm climbed on its back, it's taking off, and I'm hacking parts off of it while it's flying in the air, and I'm hoping to God it doesn't kick me off or turn upside down, so I plummet thousands of feet onto the ground. I mean, I can't think of another game in recent memory that feels like that, where you continually have all these little moments, and to put it on top of a game that really encourages you to explore its world in a way that I felt like Skyrim did a really great job, where it just turns you into this world and said, all right, we're just go find what you can find. And I super crazy, and I didn't even touch the Dark Arisen expansion stuff. I haven't even gotten to that. This is just the base Dragon's Dogma game. So I cannot recommend it enough. Please go buy it. It's super great, and all of your friends will have pawns. Bring them into your game. Makes it way easier. My number 5 this year is Rogue Legacy.
Nice.
I hate this company for making the game I've always wanted to make and just haven't made it yet. They made a procedurally generated roguelike Metroidvania, and all of those words separately are games that I love, and managing to put it in together and somehow make it work, and then make genetics for your family tree somehow a really important part of the gameplay for an action game is just confusing and outstanding at the same time. It's incredibly well designed too. I have to give them a lot of credit for making a game that the frustration for a lot of people when they're playing, hardcore platformers like Spelunky or Super Meat Boy, stuff like that, is you keep dying over and over and over again without really making a lot of progress. But with Rogue Legacy, you're always progressing because you're leveling your character, you're building up your castle, you're getting new blueprints for weapons and armor and stuff, and you're always progressing. And each time you go back into the castle, you've either gotten stronger or you've learned something more. So it's never, all right, I'll just keep beating my head against this thing time and time and time again until I guess eventually succeed. You're actually making real progress. And then the fact that you have new game and then there's 7 pluses at the end of it and it gets impossibly hard at that point, how can I not love that? Game number 4 on my list, Dragon's Crown.
Ooh.
A lot of dragons.
A lot of dragons this year. A game that I was really kind of fully expecting to play for a little bit and then kind of just push off my plate because it was just a simple brawler, really turned into a game that has a surprising amount of depth and a surprisingly interesting, though not really complicated story. A lot of classes that are really genuinely very different from one another. In you can play this game 6 times with 6 different classes and you're kind of getting an entirely different game. A final difficulty that is genuinely very difficult. Not impossibly so, but they call it Infernal for a reason. And then being able to have this great online community and a great randomized dungeon, and just every time I turn around there seems to be more game out of this game I've already played for 40 hours. And that's only one character, and probably one of the better couch co-op games this year.
Nice.
I will always complain we don't get nearly enough couch co-op games. Dragon's Crown is a pretty great one, and after the series of patches, you can play PS Vita and PS3 on the same network and do couch co-op with that. So
That's awesome.
2 thumbs up for Atlas and 2 thumbs up for Vanillaware. Keep making really great, deep brawlers. All right, number 3, Tomb Raider.
3.
I
Nice.
feel like a lot of people miss this game too, and I've never been the biggest Tomb Raider fan. I've always had the problem with Tomb Raider that I've had with the Uncharted games, where I kind of want to do a lot less shooting and a lot more puzzling and exploring.
Yeah.
The new Tomb Raider game sort of pushed Lara's origin story to the front in a really interesting way, and put a cast of characters together that, except for the main villain, was really interesting. But at its core, they made a really great exploration, puzzling, kind of pseudo Metroidvania game out of you playing as Lara and exploring this island and unlocking all this stuff. And at the end of the day, they made a really solid, near flawless action platformer exploration game. And what I think could have been a game that was really cheesy or relied too much on the history of the Tomb Raider franchise, or maybe even there was a T-Rex that came out at some point, something really not in line with it. They came out with a game that across the board was really, really, really solid, and just an incredible journey, and just a really great game from top to bottom. And I enjoyed it, and as soon as I finished it, my girlfriend immediately popped it in her 360 and played through it herself, and really enjoyed it too. I
Awesome.
really recommend anyone playing it. It's incredibly, incredibly good. Number 2, Saints Row 4. All I wrote in my
nice.
notes were turbo dumb, super great. One of the
That's-
dumbest games you'll play, one of the best. I really didn't expect to love Saints Row the Third as much as I did. Really ended up loving that. I don't remember where it was in my top 10 list that year, probably around this point.
Yeah.
But for Saints Row 4 to come out and out Saints Row at everything it stands for and everything it does, and to manage to just completely break open world games and just sort
Yeah.
of crack that corpse wide open. And it's just I never really expected to enjoy this game, because I thought it would be more Saints Row Third, and we got that. And then they turned that up by about 300 decibels. It's just
I still don't know how they did it.
it's just so it's so insane, and it's so stupid, and it knows it's dumb, and that's why it succeeds. Is because it's a game that does, at every turn, the main character in the game does something horrible / stupid / the worst thing that people can do, and then goes, well, I guess this was pretty dumb, blat, blat, blat. It just... If that game didn't know what it is and what it was doing, it wouldn't be 10% as enjoyable as it is. But
Yeah.
I cannot recommend Saints Row 3 and 4 enough. They're unmissable games if you like open world games.
Cool.
And my number 1 this year, which is probably going to be controversial, but I don't care,
Okay.
is BioShock Infinite.
Okay.
Ooh.
I really liked BioShock Infinite until I started playing it over again to get all the achievements, and then I really, really loved BioShock Infinite. I think there's a lot to be said about the gameplay and the gunplay and the story, and I think there's a lot of legitimate criticisms that I think a lot of people can have for a game that's often uneven. But playing through BioShock Infinite, I really clicked with me playing 1999 mode, and being challenged with that game, and really having it force me to learn how to use and utilize all of its systems
Yeah.
And then running back through that game and experiencing the story a second time and piecing all of that craziness together, I think made BioShock Infinite, it made it my favorite game of this year. I just, there's something about that game and its storytelling and its its atmosphere that really just, we don't get games like that. Like
it was very distinct.
Yeah,
Like,
we only get a game like this every once in a while, and usually doesn't turn out this great. And there's something about BioShock Infinite, the entirety of me playing it, I just totally grabbed me the entire time, and everything about it is outstanding. I couldn't love it more. And
Nice.
this was a pretty great year, so for BioShock Infinite to be on top of the list, I absolutely loved it. All right, so we have 3 very different lists here out in front of us.
Extraordinarily so.
So let's move on to our honorable mentions, stuff that
All
we sort of loved a little bit, but for some reason didn't get into the top 10 or just couldn't make it to the list. So, Nobs, let's start with you again.
we could settle on Guacamelee being our number 5 game this year.
I think we can. Yes. I think we can agree. It's a hard 5.
it's a hard 5.
5.
Already, honorable mentions in no discernible order
Right.
at all. I had to put Dragon's Dogma up there.
Yeah.
I played maybe an hour of it, got my heart ripped out by a dragon. I don't remember why I stopped, but it was one of those things I just kind of moved on.
Yeah.
The same thing with Child of Eden. I really,
yeah.
I really
man.
expected to play a lot more of that, and once I finished it, I just got swept up by other stuff going on. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was one game I was really excited to play a whole bunch of.
I totally forgot about that game, man.
Yeah.
Diablo 3. That's another game that I got stuck on the second boss, and I just never went back.
What class did you play as?
Demon Hunter.
Okay. I can see
It
that.
was, and that's I think Belial is the one I'm fighting,
Yep.
where
Yep.
you plant yourself and you're just planting yourself for murder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is pretty much where I was stuck at, because that was like my go-to move was the arrows.
Whoops, I'm dead.
Bang! You're dead.
Yep, bang, green goopy stuff, death.
Yep.
Check. Rise of the Triad
Oh, man.
is another one that I got maybe, I don't know how many levels are in it. I'm probably about a dozen levels in, and just got the sheer speed. I don't think I have the twitch reflexes anymore to
I'm so
play that,
nauseous.
play that game. 'Cause it is so fast.
Oh, yeah.
I still at some point want to power my way through it and just see what other madness they do so well. Because that game is like the perfect not remake, but reimagining of what that game should be. Just wish I could turn the gameplay just down a notch.
It's
Take
a
it down
very
from
accurate
11.
love letter.
Yes, it is blisteringly fast. Next up is
A dog falling.
no. Stuff. I don't know why you're over there.
I heard it was an indie darling.
Play my new Oculus Rift game, Dog Falling.
Yes. But no. What do I have here? Blood Dragon. Far Cry 3 Blood
yeah.
Dragon. I got into the open world portion of it, and I was overwhelmed. There's so much to do in that game, and I just didn't know which direction to go in.
Yeah.
Except stop playing it. It's pretty much. I know I need to get back
There.
into it because that game is right in my wheelhouse as far as same vein as Rise of the Triad was. It's just not taking itself too seriously and having fun. Another honorable mention for me is Anarchy Reigns. It seems like I pop that game in
man.
once every couple months and just play a couple hours and then just like
I forgot
and
that
pop
came
out of
this
it.
year.
It's a lot of fun. It's just I just haven't been sucked into it like I was like I was hoping to. And lastly, for honorable mentions for me is Gears of War Judgment.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a very solid Gears of War game. The story mode campaign was excellent, and the multiplayer features were okay. I think if more people were there to play with, it'd be a lot more fun than playing against bots.
Yeah.
Is where I kind of got bored with it. Would
Yeah.
like to play more of it if some more people pick it up, but I just kind of gotta sit there and collect dust now.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
Hannah, what didn't
All right.
make your list this year?
These are in alphabetical order because I'm crazy. Uh, first honorable mention for me is Bioshock Infinite. I did not play enough of. I didn't finish it. Feels like a game you have to finish to be able to go. It's in my top 10.
Right.
So I didn't feel comfortable actually placing that in my top 10.
I hear it's pretty good.
Yeah, I hear it's pretty great. I mean, some ringing endorsements recently. So, but I'm gonna have to find some time to sit down and finish that over the holiday because I think that really deserves a. I think I might even try to hit up the 1999 playthrough and just see what happens because I felt a little unchallenged. I think I got a little bored of the game, and I think that may have something to do with why I didn't finish it.
Really,
my next honorable. Oh,
that
good.
crazy thread of that storyline, I just had to keep pulling it to see where it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of got that, but I think I got distracted by something else I was playing. I'd have to go back and see what I was playing at the time. My second honorable mention is the Bureau XCOM Declassified, which I did. Once again, like I bought it and I was like, I'm gonna play this, and I just started playing XCOM again, and not that one.
I bought it and I installed it, and I haven't even started it yet.
Yeah, I started it. I got up to the first real mission, and I think I got walloped because I wasn't exactly sure what I was doing yet. Because it takes some getting used to it. It plays so much like Mass Effect. It's not even funny. You could just that could just be Mass Effect. I really liked it from what I played of it. I know it got some mixed reviews, but I'm really looking forward to playing more of it. My next game is Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut, which
me too.
would have made my top 10, but it's just not different. It's not enough. It only added those boss fights and some other bonus features. It didn't feel like a complete enough re-release to say it's in my top 10 this year.
Yeah.
But this isn't my top 10 forever. So this is in one if we ever do a game of the generation, this is one of the contenders for me.
Yeah.
It's an excellent game. This is the definitive version. This is the version you want to play of this game. So why aren't you playing it? Go buy it. Go buy this game because I want another Deus Ex game, and I know there's one coming eventually, but I can't wait that long. I'm impatient. My next runner-up is a recent one, Rainbow Moon.
Well, I gotta save this cat.
Got an angry cat. Holy cow. What is happening?
Wow. Ow now, brown cow.
Yeah.
All right, Boomer, get out of here. What's for the animals?
Monster.
Stop it. I know you're here.
So, Rainbow Moon. I just recently picked this up because it just recently came out for Vita, and I mean, come on, let's face it. I'm not going to play it if it's not on the Vita. But this is a very excellent, if slow burning SRPG. It's got a bit of a slow start to it, but if you can get past that, I think there's going to be a lot of game here for me, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Just beware of the microtransaction-y. It feels like a game that has in-app purchases. It's the only way I can describe it. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. It just feels like that type of game.
Yeah.
But don't let that drag you down because you don't have to do any of that. It's barely mentioned at all. My next runner-up here is Rogue Legacy. Another game, I actually purposely abstained from this game because I want to play it on the Vita. And the little bit I did play of it on the PC, I really enjoyed. It's really, really interesting. And just all those different, like you said, all those different genres smashed together makes one ridiculously awesome game. And my last runner-up is Sir, You Are Being Hunted.
Oh yeah.
Which I wanted to maybe sneak in my 10 or 9 slot, but given that it's an alpha, I didn't want to do a disservice to it I want to see if maybe in the coming year or so the full game comes out and really blows the doors off. But it deserves to be checked out, I think, even in the state it's in right now. So I wanted to at least give it the honorable mention.
I only have 5 on my list because you guys talked about a whole bunch of other ones already. My first one, Sega Virtual Classics Toe Jam and Earl.
Okay. Yeah.
Most people haven't played Toe Jam and Earl, and if they do, they love it.
And most people are wrong.
Right. This is a perfectly emulated version of Toe Jam and Earl that includes save support for both games. The first one is exactly the game that I fell in love with as a kid that I was playing on my Genesis. Now you can actually finish it. You don't have to sit there for 5 hours straight. I cannot recommend this enough. Super, super, super cheap. The PC version that came out a long time ago as part of Steam, that also has save support, and that's probably like 25 cents at this point. So you can get it pretty much anywhere. Borderlands 2. I put it in my honorable mentions for basically the same reason that Knobs put it in his top 10. There has been so much quality DLC that came out for this game this year, virtually nonstop. And my girlfriend and I are still playing that game. And that came out, the middle of 2012?
Yes.
We've been playing it for a year and a half straight. I don't... There's just something about that game that every time something comes out, it's like, all right, well, fire up the 360s, let's pop in Borderlands 2, let's download this thing. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
It's like hanging out with an old friend.
Exactly.
It is.
It's so good. Number 3, Diablo 3.
Nice.
Played the crap out of the PC version, so I didn't really feel like it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like it didn't really deserve a spot in my top 10 with so many other great new games out this year.
Yeah.
But just like the Hannah said, this is the version to get. PS4 version will hopefully be great. But man, it's everything that's great with Diablo 3. You're just playing it with a controller.
Yeah.
Number 4, Space-Based DF9.
Yeah.
Didn't play enough of this, and it's still an alpha, so, you kind of... Unless it's really outstanding, you don't really make the top 10, but seems like it has a really great, promising start, and seems like it is going to be a breath of fresh air for this Dwarf Fortress genre, whatever that genre is, by actually making it playable and making it so that humans can understand it.
Yeah.
And the last one, Gears of War Judgment, for same reasons that Knobs mentioned. It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's just not
absolutely.
great. It's an honorable mention. Number 13 out of the list, maybe.
Biggest praise you can get.
Yeah.
All right. Best game of last year, this year. This one is, we don't always get to play every game that comes out in a year, as I'm sure you will see with our games I missed list. But something came out in 2012 that we finally got around to in 2013, and it was awesome. So, Knobs, I'm going to start off with you.
Well, I only have one. I think it's the only one I need to mention. Is a Lollipop Chainsaw.
Boom.
Nice.
It was one of those, Pseudo 51 titles.
Yep.
That we love those games with every inch of our beings, and this one was just so campy and so perfect. Just, oh my gosh, I love this game so much that one of the few games this year I've actually went out of my way to 1,000 point it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of my favorite games this gen, easily. It was just so much fun and so challenging to get all the lollipops and clear out your zombie log, and just the story was just so dumb and so perfect, and she's so bubbly and so much fun. It's one of my favorite games. I was so happy I actually took the time to sit down and play it.
I gotta get to that game. Hannah, what did you love this year?
Well, there was a few games that I played this year that I wanted to say, best game of last year this year. But I've got 3 that I want to at least mention.
Sure.
Even if just by name. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
Yep.
I keep calling this game Fable done right.
Yep.
Luminous Electronic Symphony. Soaked up countless hours because it was one of the first games I picked up for the Vita. And it's just, if you like puzzle games or you like music, or if you're alive and you have a Vita, buy this game.
Yes.
And my last honorable mention of this is The Walking Dead. Came out last year, probably one of the best games of last year. Really liked it, really enjoyed it. You can go listen to the spoiler cast we did. But my favorite game of last year this year was Sleeping Dogs.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Because that open world clicked with me. It just immediately I was like, yes, this is how you should do an open world in Asia, and you can just fighting the triads and doing all this crazy stuff, and you're in too deep, but you got to get out, and it's just it is a John Woo movie in playable format, even more so than the Stranglehold game.
Yeah. For me, best game of last year, this year, the only choice is Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah. All right.
Probably would have been my number one game of 2012 had I played it during that year.
Agreed.
Such an outstanding game. Missed by virtually everyone.
Yeah, which is disappointing.
As a crime against humanity. Everything, it's as much as Saints Row 3 and 4 did everything right for crazy open world games, Sleeping Dogs hit every perfect note and was outstanding from front to back. Storytelling, gunplay, fighting, driving, the world, everything was just absolutely outstanding. And
having a gun in that game had a meaning and a weight.
You don't get a gun for the first couple hours, and it's awesome.
It is.
Just everything was right about that game, and everything turned out really, really great about that game, and everybody needs to play this game.
Absolutely.
It's so good. And the last quarter of our show here, talk about those games we missed. Talk about those games that either we didn't play or just popped in and installed and really just didn't get enough love. So, Knobs, let's start off on your list.
Well, obviously I got to put Last of Us up there because that's something I'd really wanted to play a lot. I just totally missed it. Same with Beyond Two Souls, another one I wanted to play.
There's another one. I'm out of space on my list. That goes on
mine
too.
Mine grew the entire time we're writing. We were recording here. Let me see. MGS Rising or Revengeancers or whatever it is.
MGS RR.
Yeah, that's one of my I played that demo and loved the crap out of it, and then just never got around to picking it up.
Yeah.
Sleeping Dogs. 2 years I've missed it. 2 years, and it's totally the game because I love the true crime games so much.
Yeah. This is your game. It's true crime perfected.
I know.
It is.
I know, and I keep missing it. Tomb Raider is another one that I really wanted to play that I just really didn't really get the push to really get it.
Yeah.
Wolf Among Us. I'm pretty much waiting for the
whole season,
the complete season to play that.
After the first episode's cliffhanger, just wait for the whole thing. Don't do this to yourself.
No, I can't stand that torture because right now with StarCraft, the torture's been ridiculous for me.
I'm sure it has.
Ni no Kuni. I bought it.
Yep. It's really good.
I did my part. I spent the money. And another one, Dota 2.
Oh,
because I own that game. I didn't even know I owned it until I started looking through stuff that I had.
It's free for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, well, you
should still try it, though.
Yeah.
But, those are the games I missed this year.
All right.
That I wish I'd have played.
Hannah, what did you miss?
Oh, I missed so much.
I missed you, baby.
Arkham Origins, partially due to I don't want to say fatigue on the Batman games, but kind of a little bit of worry. I didn't want to burn myself out on them because it's been sort of back to back to back to back, and especially with the Riddler challenges they did in Arkham City, I was sort of like I was a little shying away from it because I know how I am when I have too much to do, I just quit. Um, which says great things about me. I also missed Assassin's Creed 4 more by choice until I started hearing really great things about it. Because I sort of got bit by Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
I was deep into that series. Revelations was a bit of a letdown. I was like, all right, let's see how 3 turns out because it looked different enough to maybe reinvigorate, and it did exactly the opposite. It just completely took the wind out of my sails.
Join the club.
But hopefully, Pirates will put the wind back into my sails.
Ho ho!
To get around to this. Beyond Two Souls.
Yep.
I don't care what anyone says about Quantic Dream. They're a fantastic studio. They're doing things with video games no one else is doing at all. For better or for worse.
They make singular games.
Yes. They are. They're like I don't want to say this, but they're the art house of video game development.
Yep,
Like
totally.
it's the closest thing we have.
Yep.
Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, I barely played it. I just downloaded it and installed it yesterday, but I really want to get into it because it sounds awesome. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, again, something that looked really goofy and really silly, but the more I looked at it, the more I was like, I should definitely play. That looks awesome. I need to play that.
Well, yeah, from everything I've played of it, it is awesome. I just wish I went back to it.
Yeah.
Gears of War Judgment, a little bit of fun with that. GTA 5, I am holding out for the PC release.
Yeah.
I'm going to be staunch on that. The Last of Us, I didn't get a chance to play that at all. Another game where this is one of those games where if I didn't have a PS3 yet, this would go on the list for reasons to buy a PS3.
Yeah.
Monaco, What's Yours Is Mine on PC.
Oh yeah.
That is a game I wish I could make Thursday Night Game Night a little more often because I would totally push for this game because it looks awesome. But it feels like one of those games like I don't want to go into it right away with a bunch of people. I want to play it first and make sure I'm not terrible at it. But Ni no Kuni, we've talked that to death. It's a great JRPG. Rayman Legends because I loved Rayman Origins so much. Remember Me looked insanely interesting.
I own that.
And I just never ever got around to it.
Yeah.
And it looks it sort of got that Deus Ex vibe to it, which I'm totally for.
Yeah.
Saints Row 4 because of all the things you guys said.
One of us.
Yeah. Tearaway. I mean, as the Vita Viking, I'm ashamed that I haven't played this yet.
It just came out. Come on.
Hey,
Get a pass.
Fair enough. Should have
3 weeks ago.
pillaged a Best Buy and gotten a copy. I don't know. And Tomb Raider, once again, for all the reasons Boston has said, it looks like a great way to reset the Tomb Raider franchise. And now that they've announced the the definitive edition,
Yep.
I'm hoping that comes to PC as well.
Fingers crossed. My list: StarCraft 2, something. I'll remember.
Art of the Swarm.
Part of the something. I don't know. Really, just I played about 2 missions in that and just went, okay, I'll get back to this. No,
Yeah.
need to get back on that. GTA 5 got some amount through that and just kind of petered out. So hopefully a PC version will come out because I'd love to play it on that. Dead Space 3 played about an hour and really it was clicking with me and put it down for something else and I don't know where it is. So probably in storage. XCOM Enemy Within. Really waiting for that to be on sale.
Yeah.
And hop in on that because I really don't feel I'm going to finish that. But I would at least like to start it.
Yep.
Valdis Story Abyssal City.
Yeah, I meant to pick that up.
I played a couple minutes of it and seems like a really great indie Metroidvania game. How could I not love it? DOA 5 Ultimate. Don't even know if I've actually popped that in. It might still have the shrink wrap on it. Love DOA, love DOA 5. More of it and better.
Yeah.
How could I not?
Logical choice.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Batman Arkham Origins. Never finished Arkham City. Haven't gotten around to Arkham Origins. Played the other one, which let's not bring it down and talk about that one. But I'll eventually get to this one because, you know, who doesn't love a good Batman game? Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, for the same reasons. It's just stupid, crazy Platinum games. I gotta get back to that at some point. And last one is The Last of Us. Got a couple hours in and just petered out again. So, but that's all of our lists this year. We had some really different lists this year. That's why I really love doing these episodes. And don't forget, everyone who's listening to this, next week, not only do we go through our 2014 predictions, what we think the big three are going to do and the industry overall, but we're also going to revisit our 2013 predictions from last year. None of us have seen them since then. Nobody remembers what we predicted, but I guess it's going to be all wrong like it usually is.
Bunch of crazy stuff.
And it's really my favorite episode, so please join us next week. And until then, thank you very, very much for listening this year. All three of us really, really appreciate it. And we will see you all next week.
Laters.
Peace.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us in chats. Thank you for convincing us to live stream this thing and give you guys a preview of the top 10 2 weeks before it goes out. It goes out on the 23rd. So 2 weeks before this comes out. And like I said before, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to us this year. It's been a banner year for TVGP overall. And if you have any predictions for 2014, please get them in the forums. You have one more week from today. So the 15th is when we record our predictions episode. Please get them in early because I have to do a lot of work to get them. And I probably won't be taking many, if at all, from the chat during the episode. So please get them on in now. It's in the forums. It's under General Gaming, I think. Something. It says 2014 predictions thread. Or check the subreddit. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We'll see you all next week for 2 more episodes. Bye.
Yep.